Hello, yet another true wireless model for review, but now it's from the company that proved that they could create really good in-ear monitors. Actually, it's the creators of one of the best affordable hybrid in-ear monitors of this season. Actually, of this year probably, because the year is almost over, and I doubt that there will be some better models. But who knows, we'll see. So it's TRN T200. Basically it's pretty unusual because first of all it's a hybrid true wireless model, so dynamic driver and balanced armatures. And compared with with KZ-E10 that I reviewed recently, this model does everything that KZ failed to deliver. They have IPX5 water protection rating, so they can be used during workout, for example. They are sweat proof and small water drops proof, so they can be used under the rain probably. They are using a really good Qualcomm chip, QCC3020. It's power efficient true wireless chip, and it allowed them to achieve pretty good results in terms of performance and in terms of work time. Actually, here are the specifications, really up to 10 meters of pretty reliable connection. AAC codec and aptX are supported, and playback time stayed at about 7 hours. Well, maybe it's a bit overestimation, but from 4 to 5 hours you can usually expect. I've tested Wither true wireless model with similar chip, so really power efficient chip, and at least for about 5 hours you should get. But probably it could depend on source. And what else? Actually, it's pretty much about them. Price is below $40. Their regular price is usually about $42, but currently it's available for much less price, and I will put links to the description. And 11th of November sale is going to start really soon, and actually AliExpress tells me that in this shop they will cost about $31 or $32, so I think it's a really good price to try. And now let's have a closer look. So box is fairly simple but acceptable. I think it's something that you can accept, that you can expect when you are buying in-ear monitors that were created to be as much affordable as possible. As usual, some shake is required to get everything out. So you will have in-ear monitors themselves with case, short USB charging case, and additional 2 pairs of tips. So basic accessory set, but what else do we need for the true wireless in-ear monitors? So as you can see, case is small, it's made of plastic, bit unusual, black with kind of sparkle, regular micro USB for charging. Here is a LED indicator, so unfortunately no USB-C, but I think for the inexpensive and affordable model it's something that I can bear. So here it opens, close, it has magnet, here earpieces themselves, pretty nice ergonomic design. Of course materials are a bit cheaper, but anyway it's normal plastic, so of course outer side is gathering fingerprints, but I think it's still acceptable. These ergonomic shapes allow them to get a really good seal, pretty nice fitting into the ears, so really nice wearing comfort that I like. As you can see, spouts have medium length, so sound isolation is average but acceptable for vast majority of situations. Unfortunately there is no lip for holding the tips, but at least they used protective grill. So let me put tip back. I don't know why I'm always putting tips back on, but earpieces with removed tips annoys me. Probably it's some obsessive compulsive disorder. So they have sensor control, so tapping them will allow you to change volume, to play pause, to navigate tracks, to call voice assistant. So another plus comparing with KZ-E10 is that they have ability to change the volume. There are LED indicators here. Here is microphone. You can use them to make calls, but in a relatively quiet environment. When there is noise outside, Qualcomm tries to use their CVC noise cancelling technology, but unfortunately it's not as good as everyone would like. What else I can say? Work time I already mentioned, it's about 5 hours or so. And in case you can have additional 4 charges or about 4 charges you can expect probably. As usual, you can pair them both or one, so you can use one earpiece or another or both simultaneously, so it's convenient. You can use one to listen music or to talk, while second one is charging in case. So, traditional functionality for modern true wireless models. Pretty logical controls. So for track skipping it's play pause it's double tap, track skipping it's triple tap, and volume change it's tap and hold. So pretty okay. I got almost zero issues with connectivity. Probably once I've got some interruption on the street, but it's not often. So pretty reliable connection and pretty good design, build quality, and so on. So I think for this price range they are built really well. And of course about the sound. So first and most important thing, they require really careful tip selection. Stock tips are pretty soft, so not always they isolate your channel properly. So just try to get the fit when they isolate your channel at maximum level, and when you are getting vacuum inside. I used SpinFit CP360 tips for that, but with bigger stock tips result is also okay. But with SpinFits it's easier to achieve this seal, because with these tips I had to wiggle these earpieces a little bit, finding the proper position, but with SpinFits it's more reliable. Let's have some player on the table that we will use to show the examples, and let's go on. Thanks to Qualcomm, we are now living in the era when it's pretty easy to create good true wireless sound. So basically Qualcomm created chips that do almost all job, and earphones manufacturer task is only to find the proper drivers and to tune them in a nice and proper way. For example, Wither B6 that I've reviewed recently was pretty okay. So a bit massive, a bit on the warmer side of things, but sounding pretty nice. Speaking about nice sound for true wireless, we need to understand that it's nice for true wireless, because wired model will sound better simply because it won't have the limitations of the Bluetooth and lossy codecs. For this model, TRN created V-shaped tuning with actually maybe not even V-shape, but tight lows, normal mids, and a bit accented treble. So one of the first models true wireless with accent on the treble. It's a bit unusual experience, I think, because here they used balanced armatures. So what it will give us, I will cover a bit later. So first thing is bass. It's tight, it's punchy, it's pretty impactful, it goes pretty deep, so nice amount of bass. Of course, it's not bass head model. If you like accented lows, probably you should consider some other model. This model is trying to tend over neutrality with slight lows accent. At the same time, resolution is normal. Of course, deepest layers of bass control is suffering, but not because earphones, but because Bluetooth compression. But still, it's a really good low frequencies to use on the go. It has enough pump for workout or for sports usage. Pretty enjoyable. But once again, I want to highlight that you need to find the proper tips, because when there is no seal, you will lose low frequencies. When I was listening them for the first time, I didn't find this proper fit, and I thought that it's a natural bright model with a bit harsh sound. But then everything changed and fixed. And as an example, it's pretty obvious and simple example. It's Prodigy Firestarter, kind of tribute to Kate Flint, and actually not personally him, but to tribute to that era of in music when Prodigy made the revolution. So, of course, you understand why I've selected this track, because it's filled with deep, impactful, punchy, groovy bass, and this earphones plays it pretty nicely. Well, at least to my taste. And actually, I don't want more low frequencies. I understand that many people would like more lows, but for me it's already close to the amount that I would call too much. Mids are played by the same dynamic driver, probably. I don't know about their crossover tuning, but mids sounding like dynamic driver, and they are a bit less accented compared to the lows and treble, but actually this treble accent that these earphones have, adding a bit more pseudo detalization and a bit more added clarity. Sometimes it's sounding not super realistic, but it's comparing with some audiophilic headphones tuned to true neutrality, to maximum resolution, and so on. So resolution is normal, it's not great, but not bad. It's something in between. So you will get all the details, don't worry about that, but they're just not trying to make a focus on these micro details. And at the same time, they are pretty good with compressed material, like with streaming media, for example. They are performing really good. They are really good with something that is not properly mastered or recorded, so they are pretty forgiving in terms of quality. They are pretty emotional also. I like how they highlight emotions. It's sounding pretty engaging. And thanks to this accented upper, mids, and trebles, they are pretty good in staging, because imaginary stage is a bit above average in width and about average in depth, and for the true wireless model it's pretty good, impressive, well, yes, probably let's say so, impressive result. And as an example, I've got Reckless Love, one of my favorite, probably it's pop rock or AOR genre, or pop rock or arena rock, something like that. Anyway, it's kind of groovy rock songs with a lot of drive, with a lot of emotions, but at the same time with some elements of electronic music and so on. And Monster is a typical hit. They created pretty funny video clip so you can find them on the YouTube and check them out if you like such music, but I think everyone likes this music. It's Reckless Love, and another band, it's Royal Republic, two bands that are kings of this genre, and it's filled with distorted guitars, it's filled with bass line, with drums, and this earphones played pretty nicely. At least they're preserving this distorted guitar's aggression. And treble. Treble here is slightly accented, so if you are treble phobic, it's not a model for you. So if you don't like accented lows, it's not a model for you. If you are afraid of treble, it's also not a model for you. At the same time, this accented treble will give additional clarity, will give additional spaciousness. Of course, you know, Bluetooth compression spoils the treble, but this balanced armature that is put here, trying to play all that remains from treble in the best possible way. So they have normal extension, actually probably the best treble extension, despite this compression artifact. At least it has a good resolution, pretty realistic attacks and decays, but of course don't expect some things like layering, I don't know, proper overtones, saturation and so on. It's just basic treble, slightly accented. But at the same time, different cymbals, percussion, they are playing nicely. And I've got a bit unusual example. I already used this band as an example, but usually for low frequencies. It's Ukrainian folk electronic project Onuka, and it means granddaughter. And this track, actually, what was this track here? Other. It's also has nice punchy bass line, but what is important for me is here it starts with a lot of bells and chimes at the beginning, and usually true wireless models that I've tested before, just playing them, you know, like some high frequency ringing, without separating each bell and percussion or each cymbal from one from another. And this earpiece is trying to separate them and play them in more realistic way. They don't succeed 100% here, but at least they are trying to do that. And also, I must say honestly that with this piece, these earphones are close to my level of comfort. They are not crossing it, but they are close because of accented treble, so I need to say it once again. So basically, I like their tuning, I like what they are trying to do with treble, I like bass, it's really good balanced, and mids is also okay, but of course there are some limitations. So, but from other point of view, it's just $33. So, you know, I still can't believe that for this price you can get something that plays pretty nicely and holding connection and plays music. So I still can't believe that we are living, well, maybe not in the future, but in the present day. And briefly about comparisons, just few models that I've tested not so far ago. So Astrotech S80, they are more natural, more organic, more realistic sounding, but actually their price is 3 times higher, so probably it's a different league. Also Jade Audio is a bit more natural on the mids and a bit less accented on the treble, so they are a bit leaning towards the warmer side, while this one has more treble, so it's a matter of preferences. And another model that actually it's a matter of preferences, it's Weezer B6 that I've tested not so far ago, and if you're treble sensitive, probably you know they are pretty close, but Weezer is without this treble. So subjectively I prefer this one a bit more because I like accented treble, and for me it's better, you know, it's better to have too much treble than doesn't have at all. But if you are sensitive for the treble, Weezer would be a better option for you. They are more weighty on the mids, more coherent and more organic. And another model worth mentioning, it's KZ E10. Of course, you know, sonically KZ could be really nice model, and they are really nice model sonically, but what happened with them, it can be named death by 1,000 cuts. So a lot of small issues that make them barely usable. No volume control, connection drops, wacky controls and so on. So basically I really hope that KZ will retune them and re-release on the market, because it would be a really strong competitor. But meanwhile, it's a pretty enjoyable model if you don't afraid accented treble. It's really good tight low frequencies, pretty clean and clear mids, normal connection quality, long battery lifetime, good controls. So it was TRN T200. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.